So, good morning, everybody. Appreciate you getting on here. If you are a guest with us, welcome. We do this every Tuesday, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Most of us are part of a group called Freedom Team here at EXP, about 3,000 agents all over the country. Every Tuesday, we just do a mastermind on how to get more deals, more transactions, more leads, all different kinds of things related to real estate production. We open this up to everybody. This is no EXP pitch whatsoever, just value add for everybody. So we appreciate you being on here. If you are a guest, welcome. You're welcome to come every week. We're here doing this. Today we're doing sort of a part two of something we did about a month ago. Aaron Kinn, Aaron and I have known each other now for 21 years,
Okay. Yeah.
something like that. Started real estate about the same time. Met at a Craig Proctor conference. I was 6 months in to get my license. I'm in Colorado Springs, and 6 months in to get my license, went to a Craig Proctor conference. You know, my broker I was working with, great guy, great friend of mine to this day, but very old school. Had me out knocking on doors and going through the white pages to bring in leads and all kinds of stuff. And I wanted a website. It was part of Craig's program. Went to his conference and joined his coaching program. Met Aaron there, and we were in the same kind of coaching class together. So Aaron, we both did really well with that. I mean, through that program, I was part of that for about 9 years. Got me into the top 20 in town here in Colorado Springs out of about 4,500 agents or so. Did very well with that. We had the number one Keller Williams team in town when I moved over there, my wife and I. Aaron grew his business all the way up to top 50 in the world with Keller Williams. Slacker over there, Aaron.
I know.
Yeah. And then, but took it up to there, and then actually started his own brokerage back in 2009 down in Dallas, Kinn Real Estate Group. And Aaron was really the first guy I called when I moved over here to EXP. He brought his whole brokerage over here, and it's been fun the last few years. Just really, I don't know, going to conferences, and him and his wife, and my wife and I, we always have a lot of laughs whenever we get together. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, back about a month ago, Aaron did a training for us, which you can find on the workplace, our Freedom Team workplace page. If you're part of EXP, you can get it in there. If you're not part of EXP, you can find it on the Freedom Team, EXP Freedom Team YouTube page. There's a training that he did about a month ago on his Google business page. About $140,000 this year in commissions that Aaron has made from his Google business page. The best part of that, most of it's come from like zero marketing costs for the most part. And he walked us through that step by step by step last time. And there's a second piece to this. One of the things that I want to do to start this off is I want to go through and show you guys some of what I've implemented since that call and kind of how that's working for me. Along with that, and I talked to Aaron briefly. He started to give me some direction this morning. He said, hang tight. Give me some tips when we get on here. I want to share my screen, and I want to kind of show you guys what I'm doing right now, just on a daily basis, from what you talked about last time, Aaron. Again, that day, just being in there every day, even if it's just doing one little thing, posting one little thing or something. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's almost like, Google sees that, okay, you're an active business, you're going after it with Google, whatever, which they like that. They're going to keep moving you up further and further, higher and higher into the search, into the Google search. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah, that and utilizing their tools. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk about that, but I'm going to share my screen here. And Aaron, if you could help me here, I got you as a co-host. If you see somebody come in, if you could admit them if I miss it, but let me put you over here. So basically this is, here's my page, my Google business page. Here's all the editing features right here. As I scroll down the page, you'll start seeing I can also edit things over here. So Aaron last time talked about really getting up to 100 reviews. That really opened up a big door for you. I mean, correct on that?
Huge. Yeah. Things totally change once you get over 100.
So we talked about that. I've got 32. I started doing this a few months earlier, but we're working on that. I want to get up to 100. We got again, some of those are family and friends who gave me a 5-star review. Most of them are clients and stuff that we've worked with, and we try and get them to write up something, just a quick, couple sentences about us, whatever. So that's been helping. But one of the things that I've been doing, you can add photos, you can add, all kinds of stuff with your real estate, homes for sale, things for buyers, that kind of stuff. And then you can update different things in here every day as well. So And Aaron, I'm going to show you, Aaron, what I've been doing every day, which again, you could have an assistant do this. If you have an assistant, this takes me all of about 2 minutes a day to do. And just tell me if, give me any tips that you have. If I'm doing something wrong, or, hey, do it this way. This way is going to be better, whatever. I'm open to that. I will tell you guys right now that what we're doing, something is working with this. We had 2 calls, not this last weekend, but the weekend before. We picked up 2 new listings. They were both out of state calls. There had been a death in the family. They were both, family members who had died here, and they needed to sell the house. So those were the 2 calls we had a weekend ago, 2 weeks ago. So those are new listings that are coming on the market right now, which came straight direct calls from our business page. We picked up a buyer yesterday from our Google business page. We actually had a referral from a realtor in North Carolina, I think it is. A referral from a realtor in North Carolina, not with EXP, but found us through our Google business page. So these are things that are in the works right now, plus more. I mean, we're getting calls on this, multiple calls a week right now. So I think some of what I'm doing is working, but I'm always open, Aaron, to any tweaks that you want to give me. So one of the things that I'm doing, guys, I do subscribe to Keeping Current Matters. This isn't a pitch for them. I like it because I don't have to write blogs. I don't have to do all kinds of stuff, whatever. You might have different things that you're doing. One of the things that I do every day is I go in here and they post a blog 5 days a week. So Monday through Friday. So I haven't done this yet today. I'm just going to do it right now. And again, Aaron, I'm open to hearing it. So here's today's blog. This is what I do. I hit copy post right here. I go to my KV Core back office. Now, if you're part of EXP, you have KV Core. Whether you're using it actively or not, I would tell you to use it even for this right here. Again, it's provided for us, so you might as well use it if you can. I go over here, Web and IDX, website blog. I click on that. I go over here, add post. Now, again, this is all going to be recorded. So again, if I'm going too fast through this and you can't keep up, you'll be able to watch the recording on this. Okay. So I hit add post, and then right here, I just paste it. And it does a great job. It pastes the picture, it pastes the graphs, it pastes any charts, like all this stuff is in here, right? Now, the one thing that I have learned with KV Core is that you can't just copy this title and paste it right here. The title has to be unique. If I copy this right here and put it up here, somebody else has already done this and it's going to reject it. It just won't allow me to post it. So let's see. These top cities show home prices are still climbing. I'm just going to change it. Home prices are still climbing in these cities. I'll see if somebody's used that. I'll hit publish now. It went through. So nobody's used that title yet. Okay. Now, if I go to my KV Core page, which, right up here in the menu, there's my page that the public sees. And if I go right here, connect with Jeff and Lane, there's my blog. Okay. If I click on that, you'll see it. It's okay. That it hasn't posted yet. It'll post very quickly. Okay. But it's the same link. So no matter what, you'll see this within the next minute or so. This will change over to what I just posted. But here's what I do then, Aaron, and tell me if this is correct. So I go to my Google business page. I go down here to add update. I take the photo straight from Keeping Current Matters. So what I do is I just, right click on this, save image as, and it puts it in my downloads or my pictures. I just always put it in my downloads because it's easiest to find. It saves the picture. So I go over here, add photo, and I add that photo. There it is. I add it. Add a description. All I do is I copy this title right there, just because I'm lazy and I don't want to put the whole article here. But then I hit this right here. I hit learn more. And now you can add a link to that. So I take my KV Core. Let me just go into this one now, see if it's there. Take my KV Core blog link. Okay, it's right there. I take that, copy it, paste it right there, and then I post it. And I'm done.
Yeah, the only thing I would add to it
Yep.
is because Google is an index site, right? It reads every character, for the lack of a better term, or knows everything that's being posted.
Okay.
If even 10 people from KB Core are doing this exact same thing through their Google business page,
Okay.
it'll actually push your post into no man's land. It won't even register with Google
Okay.
because it's the exact same wording that multiple people have. So they look at it as a copy and paste thing. So
Okay.
the best thing to do would be to go into something like a headline creator, Chat GPT, something like that, and enter in the entire blog article and say, write 5 different headlines for this blog.
Okay.
I want them to be energetic and creative, or I want them to be catchy, or I want them to be data rich, as far as statistics rich, whatever you want that headline to be. And then that way it's an extremely unique headline. You're going to get better rating with Google,
Okay.
and you'll get more click through.
Perfect. Okay. Good to know. So go into Chat GPT, just enter the article and then prompt it to give me, 5 headlines.
And realistically, that's the same thing on your website, even though those are very, any kind of templated site like that is very hard to get SEO, unless you're really doing a lot of different blogs and all different kinds of community stuff.
Okay.
But anytime you're just copying and pasting text, because that's the easy thing to do,
Yeah.
everyone else does the exact same thing. And the more that people do that, the less it's not gonna have any effect. So the more you can change that into your own words or into ChatGPT's words, the better chance you have of actually getting some kind of SEO with it.
Perfect. Okay. Does anybody have any questions out of what I just did right there, or what Aaron is talking about?
Where did you see add update on the Google page?
So, like, I just go down, like, on my page. I just went to my page, right? So, again, like, I'm logged in up here. I'm logged in, and so right up here is my Google business profile manager. If I click on that, right, it takes me to this page where I can do, like, updates and edit my profile and all
If you
this
click
kind of
that
stuff.
down arrow, it'll be on that too.
We're at the down arrow.
Right underneath advertise,
Where am I at?
there's a little
Oh,
down.
right here. Oh, right here. Okay. Add update. Okay, there it is right there. What I always do is I just scroll down here, because then my page actually comes up where I can, all this right here. All those buttons are down here, most of them. And so I go all the way down to the bottom right there, add update. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And that's
So
where I did it. Go ahead.
You're saying we can take the keeping current blog post, put it Chat GPT and get different wording and post that. That would work since
Yes.
it's not the same. Okay.
Yep.
Would you post that, Aaron? Would you post that, like, in that description then? Like, actually, instead of, it gives you 1,500 words.
The only issues with it is if Keeping Current Matters blog is extremely link heavy, like it's linking out to several different places, graphics, things like that, it's going to kill all those links because ChatGPT doesn't recognize the links.
However, let me ask this. If I hit that learn more and put the link button in there, which I do that because
fine. I'm just saying your article itself won't link out, which is fine. You don't want it to link out to KV Core. It's given KV Core all the SEO push, not you. Does it make sense?
Okay. So should I not put the link on there? The reason I'm putting the link on there is
No,
because
I'm talking about links inside the article in the KV Core blog.
Okay, I got you. Because I put that learn more button and then I put the
that
link.
That needs to be there. Yep, that's good.
I do want them to come back to my KV Core page, because now, they might just read the article, but they might also all of a sudden start looking at homes over here, or they might click on, their home value or whatever, and now I get a lead out of that.
Right.
So that's one of the things that's been happening too. We've been getting some good leads, from our KV Core page, and we're not doing a whole lot with it right now as far as marketing, So I think some of it's coming from this. Now, the other thing I do, again, one of the things that I do on a daily basis is I go under here, and again, you could do this with things you see on Facebook as you're scrolling Instagram, any kind of real estate pictures or whatever, I use these social graphics. KV Core puts out, or I'm sorry, Keeping Current Matters, every Thursday they give us, 5 new social graphic, pictures here, whatever. So for example, like this one right here, it gives you a little copy over here if you want to post it in a different place. All I do personally is just right click, save image as, save it there in my downloads, go back to my page, right up here at the top, add photos, select photos, and add the photo. You don't add anything to it. There's no link, there's no buttons, but again, I can add more. It's just, I do that every day as well. Is there anything you would do different with that?
No, that's perfect. That gives you one every day. And if you can add more, that's even better. Yeah. Simply for the fact that Google thrives on your page is basically threefold. It's thriving based on your activity, other people's activity, leaving reviews, right? And then the interaction within that page. So the photos, actually, because you're posting every single day, you're posting a blog every day, Google likes that because you have a busy, active profile, right? So you start seeing more and more people, it's getting delivered to them, right? I would say other things to do are pictures of houses, pictures of you in front of houses, pictures of for sale signs in front of your for sale sign in front of houses. All of that stuff just adds. The other thing is when you're taking pictures with your phone, it adds the metadata to that photo, meaning it's stamping that photo with location, time, and place. When you're updating that into Google, it's a great way to get relevant live content, and they know exactly where that came from. There are sites, if you search them on Google, add metadata to my photos, you can actually take a graphic like you just posted, Jeff, and add Colorado Springs metadata to it and then upload it. And then it's more like, oh, you're feeding Google that city. So they're going to feed you to whoever's searching that city.
Interesting. Okay.
So Aaron, is there any drawback to when you said or Jeff, you were saying that, you had friends and family and everybody else contributing to your reviews. Does Google recognize if you send out an email to all your friends and family and then they all started, doing it on the same day? Would that not be a drawback?
No. What you want them to do is not just leave a 5-star review only, actually leave a review with a sentence or two. And then you want to go in immediately and respond to that review. Like we talked in the last one, when you're responding that review, you want to respond to things that you want your business to be known for. So like, for instance, I live in Keller, Texas, and the neighborhood I live in is Hidden Lakes. So anytime I'm in Keller and I sell a home in Keller or in Hidden Lakes, I'm going to make sure to mention that in my review comment. Hey, we always love having new neighbors come into Hidden Lakes. Another great Keller family is moving into the area. Can't wait to meet you guys, whatever, so on and so forth, where I'm going to make sure that I'm mentioning exactly what I want Google to feed to people searching, right? So every time I sell a house, the person may not say it, but I'm going to say the city it was located in. Sometimes if we were successful, sold it really quickly or above list price, or, all those things that can just add extra oomph to your Google profile. But you don't want 100 people to make a review today and the same day, and all of them be 5 stars and no words. But if you get 2 or 3, 4, believe me, I've sent 20 and 30 of these a day to I went just through my Facebook and started asking everyone for reviews. And the most I ever got in a day was 2 or 3. People don't just jump on to give you reviews, no matter I even tried to bribe them with a coffee card from Starbucks, and still you didn't get a whole lot more. So
cool. Let me ask this, Aaron. I think last time, and maybe just to share this, down here as far as categories like products, you had a whole bunch. I remember. What all do you have as far as your categories?
So
you want to share your screen?
Yeah. I don't know how. Wait, hold on a
The
second.
tech wizard
That's
over
'cause
here
I was-
doesn't know how to share it.
I was looking at my my screen
I'm
instead
just
of my
playing.
Google instead of the Zoom screen.
I'm just playing.
Okay.
Because
here
you
we
have a
go.
whole bunch of categories I remember from before.
Well, I mean, mine just shows up as real estate buying.
Oh, I
home,
see.
Right.
Okay.
You do want to have questions asked.
I remember that from last time. That's something I
yeah.
need to do, which I could have anybody. We could ask a question of each other.
Correct.
It
It
doesn't
just
matter.
can't be
They
from
just-
your email. Right. So you can't ask a question to yourself and answer it. So I had my VA create a dummy email account that isn't KinRE. And she just goes in, I give her the questions to ask me, and then I answer them. Right. So if you go in here, you know, what are the top tips for first-time home buyers in Dallas-Fort Worth? Well, I'm going to make sure that those are good keyword rich. You can see they're big, long responses. The more stuff I have in there, the better Google likes my page, right? Sorry, I have all these AI bots all over the place. You know, so reviews are questions and answers are important as well.
Okay.
Products is where we put all of our, you know, listings for sale, testimonial, all that stuff. You can advertise this as well. You can see I did a realtor near me ad. Google, when you set up your page, gives you $500 for free. You might as well use it. So that's what I did. I did like a realtor near me and did like a radius around Keller and ran the ad. I got a lot more interactions. I don't know that it necessarily gave me a lot more business. So I wouldn't necessarily run an ad to this if you had to pay for it. I just used their $500 they already had given me. Right. So my reviews go up and down. I got as high as like 137 and then they start disappearing. I don't know why that is. I haven't really inquired with it, but I've had people they'll just reviews go away. And then I have other reviews that come in. So this is not a set in stone, like, oh, you're at 130. If you add 10, it's going to be 140, maybe 136, you know, so they go up and down. I don't know why that is. But it does. One thing I did talk about last time is your phone number. I have my cell phone in here. If I were to do it all over again, I'm still trying to figure out how to get it. I'm going to call Google, but I would do this as a Google Voice number, which is free from Google. They give you a number. Plus, it gives you a running list of everybody that calls you, you know, from this. So it's a good little like mini CRM too, to know who's called you off of Google. I don't know. So anytime I get a call, I answer it. You know how many times I answer like spam calls a day, like 6, 8, 10 calls a day, because a lot of them are pulling them right off of here. Right. And then I do have my calendar, and I have had people book straight onto my calendar appointments. So I do use the Calendly integration for that. Everything else, pretty much, you can see we kind of use some of the same stuff. Like we just posted this 4 minutes ago. I didn't, my assistant did, but we sold a house yesterday, so it got posted, right? So we make sure everything that we do, whether it's a article like this or whether it's a for sale, is also getting posted in the updates page as well.
Okay. Real quick, Cheryl Johnson has a question in the chat. I have a photo that I've never uploaded while traveling. Is there a way to upload metadata for that?
If you took it while traveling, it's got metadata in it no matter what. If you took it from your phone, the only way to get rid of that metadata is to strip it away. So you have to go into a program to remove it. So any picture you've taken in the last 10 years, Google knows where it was taken, what time, date, camera it was taken from, what resolution, everything. Like the metadata on an actual photo is pretty crazy. And you can actually see it if you go in and look at a photo and swipe up on the photo. I know this probably won't show up, but that's all your metadata. So it's on your actual phone.
Cool. One of the things we mentioned last time, guys, was that open 24 hours. That was big. We did do that. My wife and I, we had it on there from like 8 to 6 or something. We went ahead and changed it to 24 hours. And then I mentioned last time too how we hired a service out of Florida. And I can look them up while we're on here and give you guys that if you want to look into it. It's like, honestly, it comes out to, it's like 20 to 30 bucks a month, something like that, but they're 24/7. And that's why, like, our phone number is it's not our phone number, it's the service number in here. But they answer every call without us having to answer it, and they do a great job. One of the things you want to make sure, because Google will follow that. Like, if all of a sudden all these calls start coming into you but you're not answering them, Google watches that as well, and they are listening to your calls. That's the other thing I realized. Like, they're going to see, like, how personable are you. Are you just a grouch on the phone? Or you just whatever? How good are you on the phone with these people? They're listening to that, whatever. So that service that we have, whatever, like, we get the recording, the whole call. They forward it to my wife. She's handling most of our real estate business right now, the transaction piece of it. So they go to her, but that whole recording is there. We also get, if there's somebody that called, we get the phone number, we get all that stuff on there, but the service handles that for us. Just because I just didn't want her or me to have to answer the phone.
Yeah, that's a smart way to
Friday
do it
night
too.
when we're out to dinner, I just don't want to do it, so anyway.
I would definitely route them. And if I had to do it all over again, I would use a Google voice number and route that voice number to an answering service like that would ring both phones, like my phone and their phone. Because that would help in the conversion as well. I would tell you about 50% of your business is going to be from out of state on this. There is a lot of probate and, just had a death kind of thing, because they're living in another state. Their parent was living here or whoever, and they passed away. What do? They get on Google and say realtors near Keller, Texas, and then it pops up, so. Right. That's why you want to have a busy profile, because when that person types in that, it's going to deliver people that are more active than people that are less active.
Okay. So good to know. So I do need to, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start doing questions and answers. That's one thing I need to get going with. I have none.
Yep.
So I'm going to work on that. I'm also going to get the appointment thing in here because I have Calendly. I'll put a Calendly link in there for that. That's good to know. Again, there's that 217 number. That's our number for people that call and you get the service. So, okay, cool. So there's another piece to this, which Aaron's going to go into. I've got this set up also, but it's very minimal. We're doing a little bit with this, but we're not spending a whole lot of money, but there is Google local services, which also then ties into this. Okay. You can set budgets on here and however you want to do it. Aaron, you want to go into that, what you're doing with that, because that's another, again, this costs some money, but again, it's very minimal and you can control it. You could do $20 a month if you want to. I mean, it's up to you how much you would spend with this, but why don't you walk through this as well? And then we'll see what kind of questions this brings up. Okay.
So this is going to be pretty quick. I'm going to do the PowerPoint and then I'll go into the real pages of this, because I can't run through and create a new ad when I have open email or new profile. So I'll show you where to go, how to do that through the PowerPoint instead. So Google local services, why you want Google local services. One, it fits hand in hand with Google, your normal Google My Business page, but this is where you're actually spending money with them. They consider this ads. So if you're spending money with Google, obviously they're going to promote you and promote your business page, my Google business page, more so than if I didn't have Google local services. So it's important to have both running. This one does cost money. Google My Business really doesn't cost money. It costs time, but Google local services does. So what you want to do is go to ads.google.com. You get up here in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to do get started. Once you hit that button, you want to create your profile, but you can see in the email, I use an email custom to GLS. So I just created another Gmail account, and it's aaron.kinn.gls@gmail.com. Reason being is you don't want to use your brokerage email if you're EXP or Keller Williams, Remax, whoever, you don't want to use that in case you leave, right? You don't want to use your personal email as well either, because things will get lost in this. So keeping it separate is the best way to, one, set up your profile for efficiency, and two, you can then get the app on your phone. Makes it much easier, and you can use it as a mini CRM. So once you go through business verification, what you're gonna have to do is all of these items. You're gonna have to upload a headshot. Now the headshot has to have no background to it. It's got to be blank, right? So let's say the only headshots you have a background. Well, you can go into sites like Canva and things like that and strip out the background, but you have to get something that Google will approve, and they'll send it back. They sent mine back like 3-4 times. You just have to tweak it a little bit more to send it back up, you know? So they do go through all of these things. Your real estate license, proof of E&O insurance. Right now, because EXP just changed their E&O insurance provider as of the 24th of October, I'm in a battle with them to get them to approve it because it's labeled different than it was last time, right? So it will get approved, but it's just this back and forth of me submitting, them denying me submitting. You know, eventually they'll accept it. My ad's still live though. You have to pass a background check, so you do have to not be a felon, which you should have to do if you're a realtor too. So you should be fine on a background check. Customer reviews, you need to have customer reviews done. So you have to have at least some reviews on your site. I don't know what the magic number is, but I know you do have to have some reviews. Once you have that, you are now what's considered Google screened. Now you can be Google local services, but you're not Google screened. So when people would search your name in Google local services, yours is all the way down at the bottom. And in my market, there's probably 600 agents that have Google local services. So what this would do is it'd show up like this with no green check mark. Google screen means you get the green check mark, and now you're in what they call their ad rotation. When someone types in moving to Keller, Texas, I could show up, I might not show up. You know, I could do that 50 times and never show up in the top 3. They always show 3 people. But it is a big qualifier is how active are you? How many reviews do you have? And then the next things we're going to go through. So I am Google Screen. My ad is on. Ad schedule is to run all day. This is where I'm located. Phone number again. Now in Google local services, they give you a dummy number. So when people call you, you answer your phone, it goes ding, Google lead. And then you start talking. So you know when you answer those phone calls that it's actually a Google local services person. You do have to set up your service area. So, and it's very nondescript. You can see it's kind of like these big boxes. Well, some of these areas I don't service, but I do service this small little corner. Well, I'm going to take it all because very few people come in here, but you can see all of Dallas. I don't service all of Dallas, just up to about the mid-level of Dallas. So you just take them, and if somebody comes in and you convert that, you can refer it out and still help pay for this, right? So this was last year. We'd spent $2,800 on Google local services. The other thing I didn't tell you is you want to do the max amount daily, which is $2,000 a day. You can see I spent $2,000 a year. So I'm not spending $2,000 a day. But you want to advertise with Google like, hey, promote me to the max. I'll spend $2,000 a day if you can find $2,000 to spend on actual leads. These aren't people like doing searches like in pay-per-click marketing. If I have an ad out there in pay-per-click and Jeff is searching around and he clicks that, I get charged. Here, I don't get charged unless somebody gives me a phone number, makes a call, makes some kind of connection. We do get some leads that are like cleaning companies or roofers or things like that, trying to drum up business. So they do a search and they start calling a bunch of agents. You can protest them. You can see here I had 83 leads charged. 31 leads were disputed. which means I wasn't caught charged on those. I disputed the lead because it was bogus. I got the money back for that. You can see it's not cheap. Yeah.
I was just going to jump in real fast because again, just keep in mind, I think it's $2,800 a week, I think, instead of a day.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah, I was just in mine actually. I mean, that's, and I've got mine set to the max. But again, keep in mind, guys, like you can turn this on and off as you want. You know, you get a couple calls and then they charge you, you know, $30 or whatever it is.
Yeah, mine averaged out at $35 a lead.
If that's all you want to pay that week, just turn your ad off, turn it back on, you know, next week. You can control this on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. So you can go in there anytime and turn on, but you do want to have it set to the max. If you put it on there, you go ahead.
Yeah, and their metrics aren't really concerned with your booking rate. They have this in here more for you because they do Google local service ads with everyone, carpet cleaners, roofers, you know, you name it, you can run a Google local service ad with Google as long as you get verified. So it doesn't really pertain to real estate all that well, because like when you book an appointment, they ask for, do you want to ask this person for a review? Well, that's not how real estate works. You know, we don't get paid as soon as we get an appointment, right? So you can see my booking rate is really low at 1, but I actually sold more than one of these, right? Last year, our net commission was $109,890. Based on what I spent, it's a 39.13% ROI. Not too bad, you know? So I think anytime you're getting more than 6-to-1 ROI, even 4-to-1 in some cases, that ROI is really, really good. I'll spend $1 every day if I'm going to get 6 back, you know? So I keep this on, even if I'm super busy, simply for the fact that I don't want to miss one. Like we have one closing next week that's 1.9 million. If I had my ads off, I miss that, right? So this year we're at 3,200 spent. Average cost per lead is higher, $49 a lead, right? So there's more competition. They're charging more money. Yay, Google.
They are. I want to just one last thing on the dispute before you go on, because we get these calls too. We've had calls from carpet cleaners and you know, Hale, Colorado. We had a lot of calls from roofers. You know, every one of those got removed as far as charge. It's very quick. It's very simple. You go onto the lead and there's 3 dots up there. You hit it, dispute, you know, whatever. Usually within 5 minutes, you get an email, you know, that the lead has been refunded or whatever. Like,
and if you look at this, they say $1,600 is going to be credited back. So realistically, I only spent like $1,800, right? This is the gross number. And you can see there's 80 leads charged. I disputed 47 of them. You know, 23 of them were phone leads, 10 were message leads that I didn't. So it's only 33 total leads have been charged for this year, but that's still turned into this so far this year, right? So still a 28.06% ROI and a good commission return as well too on the dollars that have been spent. Oh, that's it. And so if I go into Google, here is my, you can see I clicked a couple of these this morning, but I don't even go into the email hardly ever at all. You can see there's so many unread. But what I did want to show you is in the reports, here's the report, and they do give you all of the leads that have come in, you know, and if a credit was issued or not, you know, who was charged, who wasn't. And then you can actually look at the same info on your phone as well too. They do have an app for you that you can look in and see everybody in there. And then with your Google local services, the biggest thing on that is, again, they want reviews. They want you to answer the phone. So this is even more important to have that number going to your answering service. So when you do Google local services, the number they show is not the number you gave them. It's a Google number. So when you answer it, you get the little ping saying lead from Google, and then it routes to your phone. So know if you're talking to somebody and they're like, just give me a call back, in a week. You don't necessarily have their information right away to write down unless you go into your app, see who had called through. They definitely don't have your number. So if they were to call you back, or, hey, I got another call, can I just call you right back? They're going to call back through that Google lead number. That's going to charge you twice. That's one thing to remember. Always give them your cell phone number or another number that they're going to. And I actually have several where before I knew this, where I was getting charged twice for the leads. We're communicating back and forth through Google that way. And I couldn't get those reimbursed because they're like, no, that's a real buyer. So that's something you definitely want to keep in mind too.
Yeah. Go back to your the back office of local services, the website.
This one? Okay.
Yeah. Hit the menu, go to profile and budget.
So business verification first. I'll just go down the list.
Well, and mine, so one of the things, I've got that same issue right now. I just looked at mine when you mentioned that. I'm like, I looked and mine says re-verify.
Yep.
On my insurance. What do I need to do with that?
Just upload it again. And then if they don't take it, you'll eventually get somebody that wants you to spend more money with Google, their ad rep. So just call that guy. So I left that guy a message this morning. So.
Okay. Go down to profile and budget, if you don't mind. Okay. Just scroll down for a second. Okay, photos. You have no photos in there.
No.
Okay. Because I didn't know if you needed to do a bunch of setup with this, because I don't either. And I mean, I've got a few, but I'm like, I looked at it and I'm like, I haven't done anything with this forever. It's just
where it says professionals, this is if you had more than one person on your team that you wanted involved in the rotation. I would never do this.
Okay.
I would never have more than just you. Okay. And then this is where your business hours, 24 hours, your service areas, you can, edit that. Budget says average weekly budget's 2,000, not daily. I'm sorry. Weekly target, based on that is 36 to 90 leads. I've got 0 leads the previous 7 days. I can tell you that this has actually gone down as far as lead amount and quality. And my Google, my business page has actually gone up because we're more active on there. And there's more competition here. There's more and more realtors every single day are doing this, right? The more people that are doing it, the less times you end up in the top 2 or 3 when someone searches. Like if someone does a search like realtor in Keller, Texas, this is the Google screened agents. This is Google local services. Okay. Look who shows up first in Google My Business, me, over these other companies. Right. So, and that's just, and that may not be every time, but it is more times than not. I always show up here. I rarely show up here because there's so much business. Because if I go in to show more and then go more, we can see how many agents there are in this group. And this is just the ones they're giving you right now. You do this again, you're going to get 20 or 30 new ones. Right. So it's pretty crazy.
But again, great return on your money in terms of just to have this set up and have it linked to your Google page. Like, why not?
Yeah, 100%.
Again, if you can afford, spend a couple $100 a month.
And these are ads. Yeah. Right. So ad. Right.
Very cool. Guys, any questions at all from there's a couple of things that we'll go into, but any questions at all from anything that Aaron's talked about here today, anything that we've done with this, anything on your Google business page? I know we got a few questions down here as far as getting verified. Some people are having issues with, am I right on that? You're having some issues getting your business verified. Who did I see?
Not originally verified, but when he suggested that we change it to our home address, that's when I ran into issues. I even got Google called me, right? I clicked the button, they called me. Oh yeah, we'll get that resolved in 48 hours. That was 3 weeks ago. so during our last meeting. So yeah, I think everybody's having a hard time getting verified. It's not an easy issue. You'd think that with 90,000 agents, we could get a little leverage to work and get somebody appointed to, from Google.
But I mean, they're Google. There are millions of businesses advertise with them.
Right.
Like it's not just.
Would you recommend just being the squeaky wheel? Like, I mean, call again?
Yeah, I just keep calling.
Yeah.
Eventually they're gonna figure it out. The reason I said use your home address versus your office address is not necessarily because your office address is bad. It's because my office address that I get listed in is 40 miles from where I do business. So
Yeah, exactly. That's mine. I actually opened up. We have a small business up in about 20 miles away, and it's what I originally set it up. So when I set it up, it was that address, but I don't want to be show up there. I want to show up here in my town, because every house in my town goes for about 1.2 million. So that's kind of where I want to stay.
Yeah.
Sure. I just did a Google search, Google Business Customer Support number, and it brings up the phone number right there. They are very easy to get a hold of. I mean, I will say that in terms of, there's like something you do and they really call you right back. I mean, it's a pretty quick process. I haven't had to wait on hold for any length of time whatsoever, but there's that. I did want to show you guys this. This is the service that I'm personally using. I'm sure there's others out there. This one was recommended to me through another EXP agent who's really active with the Google local services. They're based out of Florida, Reception 24/7, and it's just reception247.com. This is the service that I use to, for that 24/7 answering service on the Google business page. So maybe we're checking out if you want to do that. Again, by just having certain business hours on there, you will go down as far as, it's just going to keep you higher in the search.
Can you put that number back up for Google Business, please?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Right there.
Okay.
844 and 491-9665.
Thank you.
Jennifer had a question that Google creates the ad. I think she's talking about the Google local services. They call it an ad. It's not really an ad. It's just your name and face and rating, as far as reviews on there. That's all it is. It's not really an ad. It's
a carousel.
Your info. Yeah. And they carousel it out. So it's not like you're always going to be there. And matter of fact, you're rarely there unless you've got the only guy I can consistently see that's there. If I do that is a guy named Russell Rhodes, who I don't know if you've ever heard that name, but he's a baller here. He sells about 700 homes a year here, and he has over 800 reviews. So he's a 9,000-pound gorilla. So they keep feeding him.
Yeah, the ones that I see are people I've really mostly never heard of. They're not in my market, but they're trying to get into the market.
Exactly. Well, there's more and more agents, that everyone's trying to get a piece of the pie, and the pie is shrinking, right? Okay. So they're doing everything they can do marketing wise to try to get a piece of it.
What other questions, guys? We've got a few more minutes. We can wrap it up really anytime. We don't always have to go the full hour, but has this been helpful at all going through all this? I just think it's something we need to whether you have an assistant do it, or again, I'm just telling you, for me, I've had people ask me, do you have an assistant? I do it myself because it literally takes me, I'm 2 minutes a day. I mean, 2 to 3 minutes, I'm done with my Google business page, but we are picking up business from it. And I know there's still more things that I can do. And obviously I learned a little bit more today with that. As far as what the question and answer thing, I forgot about that. I need to do that. I'm going to add that Calendly link for appointments.
Change your headline.
The headline. Yeah. Using ChatGPT to help with that part right there for sure. All that kind of stuff, but we're getting calls. We're getting, right now we're getting probably 4 to 6 calls a week at this point, from it. They don't all turn into things, but we've got a good group of people right now that are either on home searches, different things. We got those 2 new listings that are coming on probably this week or next. One of those, the estate, it was in probate, but it's going to be, we talked to the attorney. It's going to be done by the end of this month. So probably 1st of December, whatever, we'll be ready to put that one on the market. And that just came from our Google page, which again costs zero in terms of marketing. Now, again, you can add to that with the Google local services that we just talked about.
And I've had several agents like you, Jeff, that have done a Google search because they had a client moving here and they need to refer it to an agent. They don't know any agents here. They do a Google search and they look through a bunch of different Google profiles. And I've had them tell me, like, here's the most active profile with great reviews. We want them to use you. Like there's no that, okay, I'll pay you 25% referral fee or whatever it is.
Yeah. We picked up that one last week. So
I've got a question.
Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead.
Hey, so besides the Google local thing that you pay for, should we just be getting more reviews as we can, and then maybe like the blog post and the pictures and all that to do free stuff to get our
Yes.
What free stuff can we do to kind of help with our Google
The
page?
biggest one, number one is reviews, 100%. So try to get up to over 100 reviews for sure. I know that sounds extremely difficult. But how many Facebook friends do you have, and can you bribe them? If they're actual friends and not just, Facebook acquaintances, you can actually go in and say, hey, would you, give me a 5-star review and say a few words, about me or my business personally. And I'll send you, $5 or $10 Starbucks gift card. And we just buy the online gift cards and send them out, and it's right in once the review posts. So
one of Aaron's 130 reviews is from me.
From Jeff. Yeah.
Have you given me one yet?
Yeah, of course I did. Go in there. I did.
Okay. Because we could do that with each other, And again, just a quick, hey, if you're moving to Keller, Texas, Aaron's the guy you need to use. I've known Aaron for 21 years, unbelievable realtor. I mean, it could just be as simple as that,
So every person you've ever sold a home to, any closing buyer, seller, any renter that you've done a lease transaction with, any agent that the only thing about sharing reviews is if you do a review for me and then I do a review for you, it needs to be at least a week apart because Google thinks you're playing the system and they'll take both reviews off. I think that's where reviews, get buried sometimes. But anything like that are single, like you're not expecting a review back, are good. One thing I also do is anytime an agent refers me a buyer or a seller, I want them to go give me a review as well too. Like, hey, just like Jeff said, Aaron's the only person I'd consider in Keller, Texas if I'm sending any buyer or seller that way, because that pushes your rating up. And the person that has reviewed the most people in Google is your best reviewer. So if you can get people that are influencers, for the lack of a better term, or serial reviewers on Google, that's your best review source if they can get a 5-star from there. So somebody that goes in and they review every restaurant they go eat in, and now they review you and they give you a 5-star, their review is going to be pushed to the top. So if you go in like the most helpful, like if you go into anybody's reviews, and you just click reviews. Oh, I'm not sharing. But if you click your reviews, it's going to sort by most relevant, newest, highest, and lowest, right? So the most relevant are people have liked them. You should always like the review and put a comment in there as well. But some of my most relevant reviews are old. They're like 6 months old, 2 years old, things like that. So
I do that too. So I review everywhere I go. I'm a local guide, whatever, with all that. I'm getting a ton of views on that. But I don't see that it's helping my Google page at all. And it's linked to my realtor page. How do I do that?
If no one's reviewing you, you have to have your reviews increase. Now, when you do a review, are you leaving Jennifer Eastburn, Sarasota, Florida Realtor or whatever as your tag after your review?
No, it's just my page. Like I'm leaving a review as Jennifer Eastburn Realtor. That's my page, Google page. I mean, it says I've got like over 3 million views and all this stuff, like, but
But
it's
you're
not really
posting
helping.
pictures with your reviews.
And videos, everything.
Yeah, no, that's good. One other thing you can do on that is actually put your name, realtor, put your phone number underneath of it, or
Brilliant. Okay.
yeah. So now you actually have contact info instead of just a person.
Thank you.
Cool. Anthony Reddington, I just clicked on your link. As soon as we're done here, I'll give you a review. Okay, do the same for me in about a week. Don't do it today.
Yeah.
I just learned that. So anyway, good stuff. Guys, thank you very much. Any last questions? We do need to wrap it up. I've got a 10 o'clock Zoom meeting that I got to jump on as well. So, Aaron, thank you. I know that,
Yep.
you know, you're a busy guy, and we really appreciate every time you get on here. It's always just so good. Guys, you can find all of Aaron's trainings on our YouTube channel, EXP Freedom Team. He did a 4-part listing series. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch that. That was from, you know, several months back now, but phenomenal. That's been working for us. There's so much good stuff on that page. You know, all these Tuesday masterminds. I mean, every week it's just I'm learning new stuff. You know, and so it's just good to be here. So anyway, guys, thank you very much. If we can help you in any way, let us know. Reach out to us. Stay active on the workplace page. You know, pushing people to that page. It helps us out. But anything we can do to help you, we are here. So just reach out and we'll do it. So thank you all. Have a good week. We'll see you soon. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.